Am I the a hole for getting in the car with a stranger and leaving my boyfriend in the street after a prank? I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, we'll call him Dylan, for just over 3 years now. Things were going great, but around 6 months ago, he lost his job and has been playing pranks on me a lot to occupy himself, I guess. We also love together. I think OP wants to write live together. Alright, now I'm good with having fun, and a little prank is cool as long as it's something we can both laugh about and it doesn't hurt or affect anyone. The prank started getting a little out of hand and it was really bothering me. The worst pranks for me, though, is when he pushes me into things while walking. The first time, maybe it was funny. We were walking together and he pushed me into a bush. I laughed, it was okay. But then he started doing it all the time. And it wasn't just things, it was people. Oh, I mean, OP means to, right? That day, the boyfriend started pushing her into people and not just into things like bush or trees or something. There's a few issues with the writing here and there, but we'll get the point. All right, moving on. It is so embarrassing walking and then your boyfriend just shoves you into someone. It makes me want to disappear. I'm there apologizing and feeling so humiliated, and he just laughs. I have spoken to him about this and how it's really affecting me. I don't feel safe walking with him, and he just doesn't seem to get it. He says it's me that's changed and I have gotten more uptight about stuff and have lost my sense of humor. Now, Dylan was always great to me before. He was so loving and caring, and yes, he was funny, but I feel like it's getting too much since he lost his job. So, yesterday is when the incident happened. I was walking with Dylan. He was taking me to get lunch, which was sweet. Then, out of nowhere, he pushed me over into the road in caps. I honestly wasn't expecting it because I didn't think he would do it in that kind of situation. There was literally a car coming. Yes, it was a busy street, so it wasn't going super fast, but still fast enough to injure someone. Luckily, the guy in the car reacted fast and slammed the brakes on. So I was there literally lying on the road. Oh my god. Lying in the road? That's madness. Okay. I was there literally lying on the road about a foot away from the car. Everyone was staring at me. The car honked and I just wanted the world to swallow me up. I just started crying. Dylan kind of just stood there, didn't try and help me or apologize or anything. The people from the car got out to see if I was okay. They were honestly so lovely. It was a couple, probably in the late 20s or early 30s, and the guy started to shout at Dylan and called him an a-hole and saying he could have killed me, etc. Dylan said it was just a joke. Oh my god. So even after all this, he still is saying that it was just a joke. I don't know how long he thinks he can get away with this. So this couple then asked if I wanted them to take me home. At this point, there were so many things, people staring at me, and the car was blocking traffic, and I just wanted to get out of there. So I went to my parents' house. I think probably the couple dropped her to her parents' house. All right. Dylan has been calling me and texting me saying that I embarrassed him. Oh my god, now you are embarrassed? That he was stranded in the street and people were yelling at him and some threatened to call the police. He said I really overreacted. No comments there. When I said he literally pushed me in front of the car, I could have died. He just in said the car was no. I think she means OP means I could have died. He just said the car was never going to hit me and that I'm just being dramatic. Honestly, I could be overreacting. I am quite an emotional person and I tend to be dramatic, but I honestly don't know what to do. I kind of feel bad that I left him in the street and got in a car with strangers, but I just wanted to disappear. I just don't feel safe around him right now, and surely your partner should be the person you feel most safe around. Am I the a hole? Update. This has opened my eyes. I am now single. Wow, good for you. He did apologize for everything and he says he doesn't know what's wrong with him. He says he loves me, but I told him he doesn't. If he loved me, he wouldn't put me in harm's way. I see that now. I guess a part of me was holding on to what we had before, the guy I fell in love with, but he is not that person anymore. I deserve to feel safe. He is getting professional help and I will support him. We were friends for a long time and he has been there for me through a lot. I feel like I owe it to that person to be there for him. I don't know why he has become like this, but if Dylan I know is still in there, I have to try. However, I told him that I will not be alone with him, not even for a second. I will always have someone with me, either a friend or one of my parents. He is getting help, and if he doesn't, or if he tries to see me alone, I will go to the police. That means danger is still there, and you also feel that it is not safe being around him, but it is the good in you for which you would still want to, be with him and support him to get through this. Proud of you for that. I really hope he doesn't come to that. I do not want to ruin his life, and I really do not think he intended to hurt me. I know a lot of you were saying he tried to kill me, etc., but I do believe that's not true. I am staying with his parents until I'm so sorry. I'm staying with my parents until I find a place. My dad took me to pick up some of my things, and we will pick up the rest at a later date. I have the dashcam footage from the couple in the car, and they say if I ever need anything from them, don't hesitate to call. Sweet. I am a very grateful person to them. I think she means I am very grateful to them, and I have apologized profusely for any trauma it may have caused them. I will not be going back to Dylan ever. I will help him get help, and in the future, maybe we can be friends again. But for now, I can't say that seems likely. I know he is struggling, but someone humiliating and potentially injuring me is not someone I want to be around. Thank you all for the support and for knocking some sense into me. I realize how stupid I've been to have stayed with him after he didn't respect my wishes and continually made me feel unsafe. So Redditors feel that uh, if she doesn't find another person, then she is the problem, and they also feel that the dude attempts to murder you. Witnesses wanted to call the police on him, and you're the bad guy. Open your eyes, girl. You are in an abusive relationship. Leave today, in caps, because you've seen it very clearly. He's working his way up to murdering you. Okay, and sorry to shout, but all in caps. Why the hell do you feel kind of bad that you left him in the street when he could have killed you? I feel the same though. I wish the folks there didn't just yelled and threatened him but beaten him unconscious. Oh my god, that's brutal. All right. So Redditor's verdict, not the a-hole. And so is mine. Am I the a-hole for being mad over a cake and taking a break from boyfriend? I am 24 female and I've been with my boyfriend 24 male for 3.5 years. For most of the time, he has been steady, kind, and safe. I've always been guarded, the strong one, the composed one, but with him, I finally let my walls down. And when I did, it felt like everything I had suppressed for years came rushing out at once. The past couple of years have been heavy for me. Financial responsibilities pushed me into full time work early. I moved states and started living alone, and emotionally, I went through things that nearly broke me. He didn't always know what to say, but he stayed, and sometimes presence matters more than solutions. A year ago, we transitioned into long distance. We meet every few months, but day to day connection is mostly calls and texts. He is balancing part time work with his education. He's always been independent, someone who values space and quiet. But as distance grew, I found myself needing more reassurance, more effort, more intentionality. For me, love looks like priority, time, enthusiasm, being chosen. For him, love seems quieter and less expressive, practical, assumed, not constantly verbalized. I tried communicating that reassurance and attentiveness are important to me. Instead of feeling understood, I often felt like I was asking for too much. Calls began to feel like interruptions to him rather than connection. Conversations felt strained. I kept telling myself it was stress, a phase, something temporary. Then came the moment that really unsettled me. What really triggered me was when he said he couldn't visit me due to health and academic stress, which I understood. But then he immediately agreed to travel with friends. That hurt deeply. I made it made me question my priority in his life. If traveling for me feels like an obligation, but traveling with friends feels exciting, what does that say? When his health worsened, he cancelled his trip. Later, once he felt better, I suggested he visit me instead. He said he didn't want to because he had already been to my city and would have come if I lived somewhere new. He has explicitly asked me to not visit him. We usually take short weekend vacations or he visits me. Alright, so he's trying to use whatever time he gets to see a new place rather than actually taking out time to spend with you. He's trying to do both things at once. See a new place as well as spend time with you. I don't know if this is a very smart move to do. Okay, shouldn't visiting be about seeing your partner, not the location? It made me feel like I needed to compete with novelty to be worth the effort. Recently, 2 days before my birthday, my grandfather passed away. Celebration wasn't even on my mind. I came home and my father asked me to not do anything that might upset my mother. That night, before my birthday, my boyfriend ordered a cake for me. I asked him to cancel it because it felt inappropriate and stressful given the situation. He insisted. I was frustrated not because of the cake, but because it felt like he wasn't understanding the emotional context I was in. I do get what you're trying to say. The next day, I received a sweet text. No call, no real conversation. When I confronted him that night, he said he didn't call because he thought I was upset and wanted to give me space, and importantly, I didn't appreciate his gesture. That fight wasn't just about a cake or a phone call, it was about months of feeling like I was asking to be met halfway. We decided to take a break. When I reached out again after cooling down, he told me he needs space, that he doesn't want the obligation of a relationship right now. He wants to focus on work, studies, and himself. He said I should work on my self esteem and emotional dependence. That part hurt the most because there's truth in it. I have learned on him heavily, maybe too heavily. I'm using this break to rebuild my emotional independence to make sure I can stand steady on my own, but I'm conflicted. Can a relationship survive when love language and emotional needs are fundamentally mismatched? QIs, this QI? This is a rough phase or incompatibility revealing itself. I love him, but I'm starting to question whether love alone is enough when two people experience it so differently. Am I the a hole for not being ready to have a baby? I, 24 male, have been with my fiance, 26 female, for a little over 2 years, and we got engaged last September. For context, I'm a transgender man. We've both been struggling financially, and I've been very clear that I'm not ready to have a baby yet because we're not stable. Quite fair. My fiance, however, is determined to have a baby this year no matter what. Recently, I found out they have been messaging random people. They? Oh, because transgender. Okay, I got it. Recently, I found out they have been messaging random people on Facebook looking for free sperm so they could inseminate themselves since I am trans. I had no idea this was happening until they had already started talking to people. When I told them I was uncomfortable with it, they yelled that it was their body and their choice. I said, I understand that it's their body and they can make that decision if they want, but they're acting like they're single and not in a relationship with someone who would also be raising the child. I kind of agree with you here. When uh, if you were thinking of taking care of the baby all by yourself, be it financially or physically, and with all the responsibilities that come along with a given baby, if you are planning to do it all by yourself, then fine, I think you can continue doing that. But if it involves the other person too, and they're going to stay in the same house as the other person, and you are probably thinking of responsibility sharing or financial sharing, then 100% the other person has to agree, because it becomes really, really unfair. I told them that if they went through with it, I would support them as a friend, but I wouldn't be able to stay in the relationship because I am not ready to have a kid yet. Eventually, they asked me to drive them to meet one of these guys so they could inseminate themselves. I initially said no, but after a lot of pressure, including them saying that if I loved them, I would support them, I gave in and drove them. They inseminated themselves in my car, and I didn't even put a towel down. They refused to take their car. I'm really unsure how this insemination is actually happening, but let's not get there. Another issue is that they refuse to get STD tested despite meeting strangers online for sperm. I told them that makes me really uncomfortable, and that it's a basic safety precaution, but they keep brushing it off. I think now it's very clear how they're getting the insemination done, but again, let's not get there. A few weeks later, they got their period, meaning it didn't work. They immediately started blaming me, saying it was my fault because I wasn't ready for a kid, calling me a horrible person, and even saying I caused them to miscarry. Getting a period and having a miscarriage is not the same thing. Okay. What makes this more confusing is that our entire relationship, we talked about doing IVF, using my eggs, so the baby could be biological, both of us. Suddenly, they dropped that plan because IVF costs money and this random guy online was free. They also told me IVF probably wouldn't work anyway because I've been on a testosterone for a few years, and that starting HRT was my choice. So I ruined that possibility. At this point, I feel like I'm being pressured into life decisions I'm not ready for and blamed for everything. They say I'm selfish and unsupportive, so am I the a hole? Redditor's verdict: not the a hole. Please do not marry this person. You sound smart and level headed. She sounds unhinged. Does she know? Does she not know about STDs, genetics, DNA? She doesn't know anything about that sperm. Now she will probably tell you she needs to have with random strangers in hopes of the sperm working better. Please get out while you can. Again, the other one says, not the a hole. Please get out now. Your fiance is not able to think things through properly. This is not a situation you should be in. And I think that's fair. And I also agree with the Redditors here. There's another comment that says, this is a mess. You told your fiance if they got pregnant, the relationship would be over, and they tried to get pregnant anyway. Do you really need to know more about that part? Add to that, add to that, they had the audacity and ignorance to blame you because you don't want kids, which isn't a thing but does prove that they know where to stand. Why would you stay with a person who is like this? Not the a-hole, but this relationship is basically over whether you see it or not. My verdict too is not the a-hole. It's no, there is no flaw or issue in having an opinion. We get to choose what we want in life, and if that includes having or not having a baby, that again is our opinion. And if our partner is not in line with what we decide to do with our lives, then I think as mature adults we both can have a mature conversation and get to a particular decision that best suits the both of us. uh, but if I feel my partner is not uh, in line with my decision in any circumstance and continuously goes to do the very same thing that I'd asked her not to do, then I think that's a big, big problem, and that says a lot about the person's intentions towards you. And you've got there are huge obstacles that you will still have to face together as a couple if you go on to stay together in life. There is a long, long life that you have to lead together, and if things remain this way, if so, this is just a trailer, this is just a start, and if things remain this way for the years to come, there'll be other issues that you'll have to deal with, which will go out of hand. So it's better the sooner you get out of it, you'll be in safe hands. My verdict: not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for trying to veto my husband's wedding gift? Husband, who is 27 male and I am 26 female. Sister is 25 female. So my husband's sister is getting married this year. She and I are very close. She was a bridesmaid in my wedding and I am the bridesmaid in hers. My husband is quite frugal, mostly in a good way, not super cheap, but he prioritizes saving wherever he can. At our wedding, we were given an expensive espresso machine which we have always wanted to and use multiple times a day. My husband wanted to give this sister the same espresso maker but from Facebook Marketplace. The majority of his gifts, birthdays, Christmas, anniversary, etc., are all from Facebook Marketplace. He loves Marketplace. I honestly don't care for birthdays, Christmas, or whatever, but I feel that since this is a wedding, it should be a nicer and newer, not a good used maker from a stranger. He loves Marketplace. I honestly don't care for birthdays, Christmas, or whatever, but I feel that since this is a wedding, it should be nicer and newer, not a used espresso maker from a stranger. His sister has asked for cash donations for a honeymoon house, etc., instead of gifts. She and her fiance are living in a small apartment in Toronto and don't have a ton of space. She is also in school at the moment and won't graduate for another few years. Also, with a strong possibility that OSAP will be cut, government grants for education, I honestly think money would be a better option for them. I also know from experience that their family is very generous with bridal shower gifts. I think we should give them what they asked for, which is money. I know that her fiance doesn't drink coffee and she likes specialty coffee drinks, but I still think that money would be better option. So am I the a-hole for thinking his wedding gift isn't a good idea, or am I overthinking the marketplace gift idea? Update. Okay, wow. Thank you everyone who answered. I showed my husband the post and comments last night, and while some of the comments were a little harsh, he agreed that for a wedding, a used gift may isn't the best idea. For context, as some comments pointed out, this is just how he is, and his family or friends all expect this from him. He has given me a ton of marketplace gifts in the past, and that I loved. He has told me in the past part of the gift for him is getting a deal on things. He gets genuinely excited when he finds something expensive for less. But regardless, for a wedding gift, he agreed that he will give them the money as they asked for. I love that he is still a little quirky with saving wherever he can. This behavior has helped us be able to live the lifestyle we want and become homeowners at an early age. He will always look at Marketplace for gifts, but lesson learned, not for a wedding. Again, thanks for everyone's input. I think it helped show him some perspective on expectations of appropriate wedding gifts. Thank you so much for watching, and for more such Reddit stories, don't forget to subscribe. Keep supporting. Thanks. Bye.